We're looking over to Užupis, which is the Republic of Užupis, an autonomous, governed section of this Vilnius city, if you will. It's an informal autonomous power, almost tongue-in-cheek, but almost not. That's Three Crosses Hill. I climbed up, I believe, the knoll to the right, just dead straight ahead, and to the left you can see a cleft in the hill, and that's where I think I came down to the river, and then ultimately over to St. Catherine's Church, which is there in the middle. And the large church to the left is the one that was right near the Amber Museum with that curious artifact. Inviting archway is not only just downhill from my hostel, this building includes my hostel. This apparently was part of an old monastery. My room is the one right there, the last one on the second floor. It's presumably our authentic old antique carvings. Not only does it house my hostel, but residences also. Some old stonework, probably a barricade for carriage entrance ways. This stone probably held a gate and pivoted in that spot. This probably just some kind of water container, maybe for fire. There you can see roof spigot drainages. And here a lovely way to protect this lovely tree. Pleasant balcony to sit on. And a day like today, it's in the shade too. How lovely. Weather vane. I think that's just a wooden bell. What it says, I don't know. Stone carving came from. This is being picked up out of here after this restoration work that's going on here, and they replaced the sidewalk where that man is walking, and I think he's either dropping something off or picking it up. Looks like he's dropping it off. So you can fill it up again. This is the Russian Orthodox Church of St. Nicolas, as opposed to that little one we saw over near the ghetto. Hopefully we can get in here sometime in the next few days. That's the first manhole cover I've gotten pictures of. Oftentimes the cities have very interesting designed ones. This one just says Vilnius Vandenis, whatever that means. The presidential palace is pleasantly described as neoclassical, which means it's what the Russians built when they first took control. Pink represents that style, an attempt to appear Greek, but a very simplified version. These are the colors of the Lithuanian flag. The yellow stands for sun, because they love it so much and get so little of it, although I've had perfect days. The green for the forest, of which perhaps 50% of the country or more is forest, and the red, of course, for blood. This, I think, is the largest church. It was the third Catholic church built, I think, in Lithuania. I'm not sure about some of these facts, but anyway, it's neoclassic, as you can tell. Huge. The dome there is, I think, one of the oldest parts of the church. It's been replaced. And beyond that, you can see the tower that we're walking up to today, or this morning. Can't go in the tower because it's too unstable. Now, this tower is different. You can go in it, I think. The lower part, I believe, is Romanesque. Exactly what that implies, I can't recall. The second part from the bottom is a different style, and then the upper two portions are of different style. I won't climb this now since I have a pretty full day ahead of me, and will probably feel rather wrecked by the end of that. Mildly interesting, but we have to factor in what was the style of the time. Presumably it was an aesthetically appreciated style, as well as utilitarian, pragmatic, and cost and construction of cement, as you can see. Personally, it just reminds me of that same one I saw in Bucharest, that Ceausescu, or whatever the former president was, that they killed off, fortunately and finally. Just a huge building, seemingly built that way solely because of the size, just to impress in size. Celebrating a visit by Pope John Paul II. It is an interesting ceiling treatment. Those look like faux arches that are almost of a leaf weave type. I'll just find them as that. Very somber, dark side chapel. This is a statue of Gediminas, however you pronounce that, one of the famous names, and the head of the Grand Duke of the Grand Duchy of Lithuania. Its peak or high moment in history, when it was one of the largest countries in Europe. Presumably he had a dream that inspired him to build, I think, the complex up on the hill here. And that is a wolf that alludes to part of the mythology of 100 wolves that were so intimidating that they would help him rule the earth. As I've just synopsized the myth, it sounds like the typical Alexander the Great, Genghis Khan megalomania fantasy. This huge building, I believe, was the palace. Vilnius has many beautiful parks, which is a tribute to its leaders. And we'll climb up this hill this morning. You can take a escalator, I think, or something on the other side, but we'll just walk up. Another structure. The whole goddamn complex is closed for whatever, reconstruction of something. That really irritates the hell out of me when they take the major item, shut it totally down. Probably the single most important site of this town is this hill, and you can't get anywhere on